GLC is now offering a free audio stream of our 24/7 broadcast that we're calling GLC Radio, an online radio station that broadcasts our round-the-clock audio stream on a variety of platforms. GLC Radio gives you the ability to listen to GLC virtually anywhere, through your home or office computer, or on the go with a mobile device. You can access GLC Radio through our website or by searching for God's Learning Channel through iTunes Internet Radio, TuneInRadio.com, or on Shoutcast.com. Explore various GLC Radio-enabled mobile apps by visiting our website at glc.us.com/listen/GLC Radio. GLC Radio, your free connection to GLC anywhere, anytime.
Praise God and welcome to the weekend update.
And Dad's birthday.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. We had a birthday lunch today, and actually the lunch coincided with Dad's birthday because we wanted to thank the crew for all of their hard work. So we brought in Rosa's. It was absolutely excellent, and we had a great time. Everybody was like, that was so fun. It was just nice and relaxing, and it was fun.
It was.
So the GLC family, I think there were 22 of us in the room.
There was a bunch.
There was a bunch. Little kids, too. And that was fun.
It was nice.
We had one kid, if you can call him that. He's 13 and 5'9".
I had to look up at him.
Yeah. That's Monica's oldest son.
Oh, he's so cute.
He is a doll.
Really
all the kids are so cute.
All the kids are beautiful.
I know. So we're having a good time with kids around here lately. Anyway, okay, so first things first, guess what happens this weekend?
This first article.
We get to sleep in an extra hour.
Yeah.
See, sorry, Steve Shermet, who lives in the land where you don't have daylight savings time.
You don't get extra hours. Well, most people in the United States are set to fall back into standard time and gain an extra hour of sleep this weekend. Be sure you remind your friends and coworkers that the annual change comes at 2 a.m. local time this Sunday. So it's advisable to set clocks back before heading to bed Saturday night. Residents of Hawaii, most of Arizona, and some U.S. territories don't have to change because those places don't observe daylight saving time. Public safety officials say this is a good time to put a new battery in the smoke alarm, no matter where you live. Daylight savings time returns at 2 a.m. local time, the second Sunday in March. Second Sunday in March? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Daylight saving time. And for 2016, that comes March 13th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, yay, and then we have the weekend lineup.
Yes.
So we had 3 brand new programs this week. And I tell you, it was really hard this week because we have these new programs, and there are so many major things that were happening on all the other channels. It's whatever. So anyway, what I chose to do in the repeat schedule was just to show the 3 new programs this week. So if you really loved the first one that we aired Monday night, sorry. No opportunity to see that one again. But this one, boy, we had a lot of calls on every program with Danny Bengigi. Mm-hmm. And Rabbi, I'm not sure that program, well, let's see. One of them is just Danny, and then the second one is with Danny and Rabbi Shore. Mm-hmm. So that will be airing tonight, Friday night at 8 p.m., Saturday early morning at 5, Sunday afternoon at 2, and then Monday morning very early at 1 a.m. And then we have Ezra Ravens. It's actually Ravens, I believe. He's with the Jewish National Fund, and the third hour that we had recorded with Dr. Bengigi. That will be airing Saturday at 2 p.m., Sunday at 1 a.m., Sunday night at 8 p.m., Monday afternoon at 2 p.m. And then Joel by Eza and Olga Flores from Pecos, Texas. Each of them went to Israel with Hayovel about a year apart, actually. Mm-hmm. And they're friends. They work together down in Pecos, which is fun. Anyway, that'll be airing Saturday at 1 a.m., Saturday night at 8 p.m., Sunday morning early at 5, and as you're headed back to work, Monday morning at 7. So
They were all good programs.
all
Yes, they
very good
were.
programs. Very, very good programs. We're so blessed to have the people come here, and share what's going on. So, I want your feedback on all of that.
Yeah, really.
What you think about them?
They were outstanding.
So, birthday boy, have you a letter today?
Yes, I do. It's not really, it's to Amy, it says. Dear Amy and family of GLC, I am watching your programs from my hotel room in Fort Worth. I'm curious how that's happening. All of your programs have something to learn to teach a Roman Catholic. My heart aches for the Jewish people and Israel as persecution intensifies. I am sick of the media spin in the West regarding the state of Israel. I pray every day for Israel and GOC. I renew my support of $40 a month with an extra gift of $30 one time, and I recorded a CD in 2011 and thought a few of the songs your minister
Would minister to you.
Yes, would minister to you. The song, if you listen, reminds me of you, Amy, and the burden you carry in that small body of yours.
I'm big.
You're an inspiration to women and to the oppressed. It is in the Lord's burden, and yet Yeshua will bear you up under the load, because it is his burden. Israel is the apple of his eye. GLC is like eyeglasses. That's a good way to put it. That helps us see the truth. Like Peter, when he attempted to walk on the water, the Lord will not allow you to sink. Boy, that's inspirational, isn't it?
It is.
Remain faithful in this little things. He can take care of the big ones, and he will. I so appreciate you, your mom and dad, and the wonderful staff and teachers, all of them of GLC. Please send me a CD of the Nuggets of Roundup. She must be around where she watched that quite a bit then, instead of just in Fort Worth, because listen to where she lived. Sincerely and prayerfully, Marion from Port, Newfoundland, Labrador.
Canada. Ryan, didn't you pull that up on the map? Can you show that? Good. So, yes, when I read this letter just before we came out here, I wanted to cry. I was like, that is just the sweetest thing.
It is.
And you have no idea, Marion, what an encouragement that is, not only to me, but to mom and dad, and probably all the staff too, because you know what? We're a family down here. When one hurts, we all hurt.
Yep.
When one rejoices, we all rejoice. That's the way it is.
Amen.
I wish everybody could be like an active part on staff at GLC. Because I tell you what, those of us who get to be a part of it are like pretty floored that God lets us be here. It's just an amazing thing.
It's a fun thing.
It is a fun thing.
Well, I've got a fun devotional today, too. Addiction can be a good thing. Titus 3:8 says, "This is a faithful saying, and these things I want you to affirm constantly, that those who have believed in God should be careful to maintain good works. These things are good and profitable unto men." Does it ever happen to you that something terribly simplistic just suddenly becomes clear? I realized something about us the other day. We humans are such addictive creatures. We always hear stories of addictions such as gambling, drinking, and using illegal drugs, most of which many of us have either never allowed ourselves to touch or been able to conquer at some point in our lives. But it occurred to me that these are just a few of many things to which we can become addicted. I mean, think about it. The more we work and the more money and material things we acquire as a result, the more we want to work in order to purchase more things. So the more television we watch, the more we don't want to miss that next episode. The more we win at leisurely games we enjoy, the more we want to play and win more at those games. The more we sleep, the more we want to sleep. The more we complain, the more we want to complain. The more we eat, the more we want to eat. We have even created nightly support group meetings for our addictions, to which, if we're not careful, we can also become addicted to. And there are countless other earthly examples we can probably add. It seems that mankind is hopelessly given to the substances and circumstances around us. So wouldn't it be great if we could just switch our focus from majoring on our daily grind to majoring on things of the Lord? And then I'm sure we would find that the more we pray and see God answers our prayer, the more we'll want to pray and see those victories. The more we share our faith and see people come to know the Lord through us, the more we'll want to share and see others come.
Amen.
The more we read the Word and gain wisdom for our lives and others' lives, the more we'll want to read the Word and gain that kind of wisdom. The more we serve God and those around us, the more we'll want to serve them. And there are countless other heavenly examples we can probably add. How about it? Let's begin doing more of the things of the Lord and watch how they multiply. I have a feeling we just might experience more joy, peace, and contentment than we ever have.
Wow, that was really great.
Well, what it made me think of was the media spin that our letter talked about when she talked about television. And this week with the
Debates?
the political debates, it really proved the media spin is really against what you've been saying. The media is against Israel. Well, they're not part of the media spin.
They're wanting to have their way
Yeah.
in things. And, you know, it just makes it hit home to me even more what the Lord revealed that night during Roundup about why he set GLC up the way he did. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. GLC is his station,
Amen.
which is why this station isn't run like other Christian stations or any other station for that matter. We don't sell airtime. It's the people who support what goes on here that make it a reality. And what he's really been telling me is that the reason that he has made it that way is because he wants his people to understand that they are responsible for the truth. So when we get a letter like we got today,
From Marion.
it is such a blessing to know that people are getting it. You know, I've got to share a few things that have been happening just in the past week. Okay, Joel Baeza, who did the Light of the Southwest with us, that you can watch again this weekend. Joel was very, very worldly. I'll just put it that way. He was very, very worldly, but a friend of his handed him a Bible back in 1983. And so for many years, Joel continued to be very, very worldly. But he read that Bible every single night.
Which is amazing.
Because he knew that there was truth in there. Well, while Joel was still in the world, he was watching GLC. He was supporting us financially because of the truth that was going out. He wasn't even serving the Lord, but he was supporting the truth that came out that he saw here. Then, let's see, Savannah Miner, who hosts 2 different programs. She had a guest last week that she recorded, a 25-year-old from this area. Didn't even know that we existed out here. She went into the GLC bookstore and she went crazy, according to Savannah. She couldn't believe this was here because these are the things that her heart had been searching for.
Wow.
And then I'm looking through the bookstore sales, and because I do the accounting, and I see a name, and I'm like, why do I recognize that name? Turns out it was another guest of Savannah's that had come in for her other program. And I'm like, wonder what he bought. So I went and I looked. Paul, the Jewish theologian. You know, that's a Brad Young book.
Amazing. Yes, it is.
I'm like, Lord, what you're doing is amazing.
It is.
What you're doing is amazing. So I just want you to realize that we're really appreciative of your financial support to keep GLC on the air. But one of the aspects that really, really makes me personally appreciate it is knowing that, like Marion, you're seeing that this is a God thing, that he will have his truth out there.
Amen.
And each one of us is responsible for it. How God set it up, we can only be responsible for what he has made us responsible for. Everything else is the partnership with
Amen.
you guys. And okay, well, today was the last day to qualify for the Nuggets DVD that she had mentioned in her letter. But
From the roundup.
but that doesn't mean we don't still need financial support, because
For
boy, do
sure.
we need financial support. So lots and lots of things going on, lots of changes going on, and our chief engineer, who injured his ankle about a month ago, we found out today will be out for at least another 2 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Can't
keep
drive
him.
a car, nothing.
Can't drive a car. Nope, he hasn't been here. So keep him in your prayers.
Yes, indeed.
Amen.
And there you go.
Wow.
Okay, so I guess we better get to the news. What do we got? And this comes from Breaking Israel News. Richard Lakin, an American Israeli who was critically wounded in a terrorist shooting attack on October 13th, died of his wounds Tuesday morning, October 27th, after spending 2 weeks in critical condition. We shared that story with you on Wednesday. 2 others were murdered in that deadly attack. Lakin, 76 years old, was shot in the head and stabbed in the chest by 2 Palestinian terrorists on an Egged bus in the Armon, Hanatziv neighborhood in Jerusalem. He was hospitalized in Hadassah Ein Karim and underwent a number of surgeries, but he eventually succumbed to his wounds.
Karen Lakin, Richard's widow, spoke a few days prior to her husband's passing, urging the Israeli and Jewish people to not seek revenge and refrain from feelings of hate. She described the shock which she and her daughter felt when struck by the reality that despite an acute awareness of terrorism, it was hard to believe that it hit so close to home. We couldn't believe it was us. Our lives changed in a minute. Karen further described Richard as a man who had been dedicated to advancing freedom and peace his entire life. Not only had he been an activist in the civil rights movement before making Aliyah 32 years ago, but he also undertook efforts to advance Israeli-Palestinian relations.
Karen recounted how an Arab doctor had come to visit her in Hadassah Medical Center. She pointed out that while it seemed crazy, it was crucial to keep in mind that the Arab doctor was in no way involved with the tragedy that befell her husband. Seeking to advance the humanitarian creed by which Richard had lived his life, Karen related a moving message about hate. Our family wants to get the word out that this was tragic and brutal, but our feelings are what Richard's were. We must individually, as a Jewish people and as a country, look for options, and hate is not one of them. We are all along the political spectrum, but we have to look for options so we can live here peacefully, she said. Rabin said to build a new Middle East together. This hasn't happened yet, but we can't lose hope, concluded Lakin. You know, the Jewish people are very, very interesting. If you happen to see the Joshua and Caleb report that has been airing this week, the interview is with a man who owns a winery in Rekalim, and he's speaking Hebrew, so it's all subtitled in English for us. But he was talking about why that settlement came into existence. And it was because of a woman named Rachel, thus the name Rechalim. Rachel was a mother of 7, and she was on a bus headed to Tel Aviv, I believe, and a terrorist killed her. And their way of remembering her was to start the Rechalim settlement. And I've heard several people say in these Joshua and Caleb reports that is why they happen to be there. Mm-hmm. Every time a terrorist stabs somebody, every time a terrorist kills somebody, they're like, all right, we're going to build another settlement. Mm-hmm. We're going to build another one. Mm-hmm. You are not going to defeat us. Mm-hmm. What a tribute.
They are a brave people. They really
yes, they are.
Well, that's why God picked them. They were stiff-necked, too.
Well, they were believers in what they believed in.
They are.
That's the biggest problem with a lot
Well,
of us.
they actually, and this is like really important, like the interview with Ezra this week from Jewish National Fund. His father was a Zionist, moved his whole family over there in the early 60s, 61, I believe, maybe 62. And we talked about this a little bit. When you read the scriptures and you see that prophecy has yet to be fulfilled, but it's being fulfilled right now. Now is the opportunity to take part in the fulfillment
That's right.
of prophecy. This is why those people are there. God told them this. That's why Hayovel does what they do. Mm-hmm. That what they do in those vineyards is actually fulfillment of prophecy.
It absolutely is.
It's amazing stuff.
Well, another man who is fulfilling prophecy, Temple Mount activist Rabbi Yehuda Glick, was a victim of stone-throwing attack while riding in a car almost precisely 1 year after he miraculously survived being shot 4 times. On Thursday night, Rabbi Glick was riding in a car driven by Rabbi Riam HaKohen on Route 60 between Bet Omar and the Karmi Zur when they were attacked.
That particular spot is frequently targeted by Arabs for this type of attack. Several cars had already been attacked before the car carrying Rabbi Glick arrived, and a car ahead of his had lost control and crashed, injuring a young pregnant woman. The attack on Thursday night came 1 year, 1 hour, and 1 minute after the shooting attack that nearly killed him.
On Friday, Rabbi Glick posted on Facebook about the incident, quote, "I was saved from rock throwing. One of the rocks smashed the side window, and I was lucky that the righteous Rabbi Rahim HaKohen was the driver. By his merit, the only damage was to the body of the car. Blessed is he who has not taken away his loving kindness from me for even a minute." He also added in parentheses, to all who noted a discrepancy in the dates, "It is the Arabs who go by the Gregorian calendar, not me."
Rabbi Glick is the chairman of Temple Mount Heritage Foundation, which works toward universal prayer on the Temple Mount. He was shot last year at point-blank range by an Islamic Jihad terrorist outside the Menachem Begin Heritage Center in Jerusalem. In May, a Jerusalem magistrate court ordered the Israeli police to pay Rabbi Glick 30,000 shekels compensation for 2 wrongful arrests in which he claimed the police discriminate against Jews on the Temple Mount. He also heads LIBA, founded by the Temple Mount Heritage Foundation and the Israel Independence Fund, which conducts legal advocacy to advance civil rights at the site, as well as public advocacy promoting Jewish visitation on the Temple Mount.
Mm-hmm. Well, this comes from the Times of Israel. A top Hamas official in the Gaza Strip called on all Palestinians to turn their weapons against Israelis, saying Allah created man only to wage jihad and to plunge knives in the chests of enemies.
Oh.
In an address broadcast on Hamas's Al-Aqsa TV on October 19th, former Gaza Interior Minister Fathi Hamad praised Palestinian martyrs who had committed themselves to the killing of Jews, who he called the slayers of the prophets, the bloodsuckers, the killers of the martyrs.
He called on Palestinian Authority security forces to turn their weapons against Israelis. If you are true Palestinians, you will use your weapons not to carry out detentions, not for destruction, and not to bury the Intifada alive. If any Islamic, Palestinian, Arab, jihadi blood runs through your veins, you will turn them against Israel. Hamad's speech was uploaded and translated Wednesday by the Middle East Media Research Institute.
The Hamas official praised the role of social media in promoting attacks on Israelis. We salute the Facebook of jihad, the Twitter of jihad, the WhatsApp of jihad. We salute anything with jihad in it. Allah, he said, had pledged to persecute the Jews and had created man only to wage jihad, only to move forward, only to plunge their knives into the chest and bellies of the enemies. This intifada and this jihad will never stop, he cried.
Hamas has consistently encouraged terror attacks and violent demonstrations throughout the West Bank and Gaza throughout the recent period of unrest. The past month has seen near-daily stabbings and other attacks by Palestinians on Israelis, as well as widespread clashes in the West Bank. Palestinian attackers have killed 11 Israelis. 55 Palestinians have been killed, including 35 identified by Israel as attackers, and the rest in clashes with security forces. Hey, speaking of which, Jean-Claude sent me a thing last night saying that since the new year, there have been 778 attacks. The new year was Rosh Hashanah,
Yes.
6 weeks ago.
Yes.
6 weeks ago, and 778 attacks.
Wow. Well, according to the Times of Israel, the army began implementing a series of dramatic new measures on Thursday to separate the Jewish and Palestinian populations in the West Bank in an attempt to curb the stabbing attacks that have plagued the area in recent weeks, an IDF official said.
Hebron and the Etzion bloc have seen nearly daily attacks against civilians and security forces in the past week. In response, the IDF said that it would not allow Palestinian males between the ages of 15 and 25 to pass through Hebron's Jewish settlement, except those that live in the surrounding area, who will be forced to undergo a thorough security check.
Meanwhile, an Etzion bloc council leader said soldiers would separate Palestinians and Jewish residents at the Gus Etzion Junction, which has been the site of multiple terror attacks. In Hebron since October 1st, a total of 13 stabbing attacks or foiled attempts were carried out by Palestinians against civilians and security forces, an IDF spokeswoman told the Times of Israel. In nearly every one of these cases, the Palestinian attackers were shot dead by forces on the scene.
In light of this reality, beginning on the morning of October 29th, in accordance with the security assessment, several precautionary measures were taken in order to prevent potential attacks in the future and maintain the safety and well-being of Israelis, she said. In addition to the age restriction for passing through the Hebron Jewish settlement, the IDF will close off all the Palestinian parking lots in the area until further notice. The Etzion bloc, a cluster of Jewish settlements south of Jerusalem, has also seen a spate of stabbing attacks. On Wednesday, a Jewish woman was stabbed in the back outside a supermarket near the Gus Etzion Junction.
Well, I'm glad they're doing something
we
about
also
it.
shared an article Wednesday about them putting cameras up on the Temple Mount. So, well, you didn't have anything on
Haven't
that?
heard any more about that. No, I haven't seen any more about
well,
it.
we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens,
Yes,
because
indeed.
you know what? That's a really good idea so that you could really see. But I know they have cameras all over Israel, but is it stopping anything? These people don't care. They see themselves as martyrs. They want to kill Jews.
And they want to die killing a Jew.
They want to die killing a Jew. Somehow it earns them some place in heaven or something. Happy birthday, my lovely father.
Well, thank you.
I'm so proud to have you as my dad.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
It's
that.
such a blessing to be your daughter.
Thank
the
you.
daughter of both of you. But it's
Thank
your
you.
birthday.
Okay.
See you
Thank
next
you,
week.
Tommy.
We love you.